Hey, we'll be with you. Welcome back to Trip of Change, the Jackie Robinson Show podcast. Trip of Change is a weekly podcast hosted by Jackie Robinson and produced by Dana Bach, with some of the top thought leaders in the areas of LGBTQIA+, use of pronouns, gender identity, voting rights, intergenerational conversations, news, and feature interviews with industry leaders. Our goal is to provide listeners with key takeaways and actionable advice for having a better understanding of the people we interact with around the world. Let's start the show. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey.
How are you? Hey, Miss Dana.
Excellent. Coming at you from West Florida.
Yes, the southernmost part of the United States.
The continental United States. Yes.
The continental United States.
The southernmost actually is on the big island of Hawaii, just past Green Beach.
Oh, okay.
Been there also. Yes.
I know. I was reading your story and you talked about how Hawaii came into play. And so we'll get to that. But here's another episode of Trip of Change with Jackie Robinson and Dana Bach. And so we want to welcome you to our listening audience. And for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, this is season 4, episode 8. So we've got a couple other seasons. We've got several other episodes. So be sure to go out to tripofchange.com and look at podcasts in the menu. And you can see a list of all the podcasts that Dana and I have produced so far in 2022. Is that right, Dana?
That's right. Yes.
All right.
Episode 8 for us.
Yeah, episode 8 for us. Season 4 for me.
That's right.
Yeah, and episode 8. Yes, and so we will be talking about Miss Dana's story and her life challenges and how she has been able to overcome them and come out on the other side a wonderful, beautiful person. She was a wonderful, beautiful person since the day I met her. And so let me say this, Ms. Dana, I appreciate you so, so much. I thank you for your friendship. I thank you for your kindness. And I thank you for encouraging me when we was in Las Dang Vegas to do this Trip of Change.
Right. We're getting a gondola. I'm like, I think we have something here, Jackie.
I know.
Share this with the world, because you and I can talk, Jackie and I can talk forever, but we got to talk about the things we're talking about with more people.
Correct. Because since I retired, I've said this, I was ready to give it all up and enjoy retirement and just read and eat and travel. But I guess as a creative, Dana, I can't get away. I can't get away from it.
The beauty of all of that is you're still doing all those amazing things. You're just doing them with an actionable goal. Like, you're still reading, you're still eating amazing cuisine, you're still traveling, and doing it with a purpose than you thought you were going to have. And that's one of the prize.
It really is. And not only that, I'm doing it with a good friend.
Yes.
I'm doing it with a good friend. Yes. So, before we get into tonight's episode, we got to take care of housekeeping. We got to take care of the admin stuff on the back end, because we will be looking at some websites and some videos. And so before we do that, let us add this and say that This video contains some sensitive information. The sole purpose behind making this video is to spread love and information. We hope it will increase your knowledge and understanding of the LGBTQIA plus community. The video content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. Triple Change does not make any representation or warranties with respect to the accuracy, applicability, fitness, or completeness of the video content. Triple Change does not warrant the performance, effectiveness, or applicability of any sites listed or linked to in any video content. Triple Change hereby disclaims any and all liability to any party for any direct, indirect, implied, punitive, special, incidental, and other consequential damages arising directly or indirectly from any use of the video content which is provided as is and without warranties. All right, that's our disclaimer. Also, we want to encourage all of you, our listeners, and those who are listening live and those who will watch the replay of this podcast. We want to encourage you to go out to our sponsors' website, which is healthfulessence.com. Also, if you're in the Atlanta area, visit their restaurant, Healthful Essence, which is a Caribbean and soulful vegan restaurant located in the West End of Atlanta at 875 York Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Also, keep in mind that Healthful Essence offers a discount when you order online with the Clover app. So they've got wonderful food, vegan, vegetarian food with a soulful taste to it because they use the same spices and herbs that I use when I'm making the types of foods that I make. But this is Healthful Essence, vegan, vegetarian, and also they do catering. Summer's coming. You may have a family reunion, you may have a wedding, you may have a bridal shower, anything coming up. Check them out, healthfulessence.com. And also don't forget that when you order online through the Clover app, you get a discount, right, Dana?
That's right.
All right. All right, darling. Oh, also, let's do this. There's Healthful Essence. Vegan, vegetarian, soulful restaurant, healthfulessence.com. And now, we also want to encourage you to support our podcast. Support our podcast. We really want you to go out to the website and sign up. If we don't ask for much information, just your email address. Send us your email address so you could have information prior to everybody else. Get it firsthand what we're doing on Triple Change, because we got a trip coming up to where, Dana?
New York City.
New York City. We're going to New York City. Okay, get ready, New York. All right, so be sure to go out to the website, sign up, give us your email address. That's at chipperchange.com. We also have Cash App at Chipper Change, where we will donate to our favorite causes. Last week, we talked about the South Union Community Development Center, where they're providing STEM programs for children in the local Houston area. Okay, so that's the Cash App at Triple Change. We're on Instagram. We're on Instagram at Triple Change. Everything's Triple Change. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Trip of Change. Is that right, Dana?
That's right.
Okie dokie.
Do all the above.
All the above. All the above. And now, to get in touch with me, you can email me at Jackie@triplechange.com. And to get in touch with our podcast co-host and producer, contact Dana at Dana@triplechange.com. That's part of that's our email address for Triple Change, and then we'll share some personal information as we get into Miss Dana's story, which is fascinating. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yes, ma'am. All right. So, okay, Miss Dana, here you are.
Hello.
Dana Bach.
Yes.
Dana Bach, adventurer extraord. Oh Lord Jesus, adventurer extraordinaire. Yes. Hold on, just a minute. Your name is not Dana Bach.
No.
Your name is Dana Bach.
See, we're always evolving. Always evolving.
Always evolving. That was a triple change, real quick.
Right, right.
Triple change. Dana Bach, adventurer extraordinaire. There's her website address, Echo Akamai.
Eco Akamai.
Eco Akamai, Eco Akamai, ecoakamai.com. Check her out. She's got her listings of her trips to national parks, beautiful pictures, beautiful scenery, and her story. So that's at Ekamai,
Eco Akamai.
Eco Akamai,
Yes.
Eco Akamai,
Eco is in green.
ecoakamai.com.
Eco is in green. And then Akamai means smart in Hawaiian.
Means
AKA
what, baby?
smart in Hawaiian. So green
Green smart. I like it.
for the environment.
You're
Yes.
gonna help me remember how to pronounce it though. Echo Akamai.
Eco Akamai.
Eco Akamai.
Yes.
Eco Akamai.
Akamai.
Okay. Yeah. Check her out on Eco Akamai and Dana Bach at Dana Bach at me.com. Dana Bach at me.com. All right, Miss Dana. That takes care of our administrative part of the show. And I know that when I was living in Portland and I met you, you had such a wonderful spirit, a good spirit, and we connected right away. Even though I'm an older woman and you were a little younger, that didn't matter. There was a connectivity.
Yes.
And with me living in Portland, and Dana didn't know this at the time, I am a nature buff myself. She's a nature adventurer. And some of the things that we're going to discuss in terms of the benefit of being in nature is what I found to be beneficial to me. Mm-hmm. And so living in Portland, Dana, and seeing those mountains from the distance, you can be driving down the street and off into the distance, there's Mount Hood, big, beautiful, gorgeous, snow-capped, everything. And so I got into that. And so when Dana asked me if I wanted to join her for a trip to Las Vegas, I was like, okay, cool. But we did not step on to the casino floor. We didn't gamble not one time. Not one time. It wasn't that kind of trip. We went to Death Valley because this is what Dana does. This is her high. She likes to go to the parks and commune with nature. So Dana, how did you get into this? How did this all start?
Well, I'm going to go all the way back. So I grew up going to YMCA camps and just being out naked. And we rode bikes everywhere. We had kind of, we'd go out in the morning and my mom would say, "We got my sundown." I mean, that was, the 70s. It was very different than how kids are being raised now. And my dad had multiple sclerosis also, which is a unique thing. But he never let his disability affect his parenting style. He'd pick us up and we'd go arrowhead hunting and agate hunting. And we'd go to a friend of his farm and go pick berries. And we were always out doing something at a festival or doing something where he could join us. And then my mom was just my inspiration for adventure. She was always let's pick up and go. Let's go clam digging. Like so-and-so invited us to go to the mountains this weekend. Let's go. So she gave me that really inspirational, she's like, her idea is like, don't say no to it. Say yes to invitations and go and experience and have fun. So that kind of got it from both my parents, who were not together as a couple. And so just all through life, I started really just loving being out in nature, hiking and all of that. My brother, Troy, and I decided in our 20s that we really wanted to go.
When you
And
were in your 20s?
20s, we wanted to start hitting national parks. At that time, there's 62 national parks. And so we started going to the parks. We went to about 10. We did all 5 in Utah. We did 3 up in Alaska, which are hard. There's a lot of in Alaska that are hard to get to. And then we did North Cascades. We did Joshua Tree. So I think we rented out about 10. That kind of gave me my bug. Like I really liked it. I like going to these massive places and experiencing different parts of them. And so fast forward, life happens, career, kids, you get kind of doing your thing. And over the course of that time, I did go to a couple more parks. Uh, and I got to about 15 or 18, 15. And then I was not feeling well in 2019. Something was wrong with me. They couldn't figure it out. And I was like, I'm going to do something. And I was in Hawaii. And my sister sent me this article about this guy named Andy McGee, who had done the entire national park unit of, at that time, 419 units. And I was like, oh my gosh, so inspiring. That's what I need to do. Like, that's where I feel best is outside. So that day I dropped off my crew to go zip line, and I immediately went to a national park right down the road where we were staying, where I'd been many times. And it was this gorgeous Hawaiian fort, Pink Kamehameha's fort. And just walking those grounds and experiencing that history and learning about indigenous people, which is so near and dear to my heart. And I want that history to be known more. Um, I was like, I'm hooked. Then I got home and I got a mammogram, and I got diagnosed with aggressive HER2 positive cancer.
Well, tell me about this. That was the HER minus 2 plus. I never heard of that.
It's HER2, HER2 positive, which is a very fast moving cancer. My Dr. Natalie Johnson said, it's kind of just like you. It's an adventure. It likes to move fast and travel. I'm like, yeah. What was really unique about Dr. Natalie Johnson, who was just amazing, is that she had been a surgeon, um, and then she got the same type of breast cancer when she was a little bit older than I am. And so she really knows how to attack this specific type of cancer. And so I was so lucky to be in her care. One thing she said to me, she said, clear your calendar for a year. And I was like, whoa, I guess I'm not going to Peru for my birthday. And she was right. It took longer than a year to get through. My cancer did move, it did go to my lymph nodes. So I did 6 rounds of chemotherapy, surgery. Then they found it in my lymph nodes, so we had to chase it with radiation. And then I had 11 therapy treatments. And so I really didn't get done until March of 2021. And then COVID was happening. And so then it got worse and worse and worse. So I was in quarantine for well over a year with COVID, not having COVID, but trying to be as healthy as I could as I moved through the.
You got COVID chasing you, and then you
I
in
got
the middle.
me, yeah, got it all chasing me. So that's where I landed. So when you go through chemotherapy, you spend a lot of time by yourself, laying down in bed. And I had watched the Maria Kondo show where she does this cleaning out your closet and saying, does this jacket bring me joy? And I was like, I want to do that with my life. Like, certain things in my life bring me joy. And so I kind of invited some things to leave that just weren't bringing me joy. And I invited some new things in, and one was the national park circuit. I really wanted to go do as many as I can, and with as many people that I care for at the same time too. So I reached out to my favorite people, Jackie being one of them, of course.
I'm
And
so grateful. I'm so
it's,
grateful.
we put together the trip, and I've done the Death Valley with you, of course, and I've done the Grand Canyon with my friend JJ, and I'm here with my family in Dry Tortugas National Park, which is off the Florida Keys. We're going to take a seaplane there, and only 80,000 people visit the park every year. It's a very not highly visited, so it's just going to be a great experience. So I just keep on adding new parks. This last week. I've been to the Everglades before, driven through, but we did an airboat ride in the mangroves, and it was amazing. Oh my gosh! And then we went to Big Cypress National Preserve, and went into the ranger station and asked the ranger to point out. He gave us about 4 different spots to go to, and we saw these amazing big trees and wildlife and big alligators and turtles. I mean, it's just amazing. Took like 4 different mini hikes. It was a great day.
Sounds like it. And I saw the pictures. I think it was on your website.
I had put those on Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram. The alligators.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. And this road that we went on, the Loop Road, isn't it very well traveled? Not traveled that often. So when she said, "I highly recommend you going here," I was like, "That's a priority." So I always love talking to the rangers and getting their recommendations. And they're not always the biggest, most picturesque locations. They're the locations where they think you're going to get the biggest benefit from your experience.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think for people who are listening, if you are into nature, then you know wherever you live, there are parks very close by, reserves, natural reserves. I know here in my little town, my little Mayberry town at East Point, I can go just a half a mile or a mile down the street and take a cut down the street, and all of a sudden there's a natural preserve, a park,
Yes.
right there. And so, starting in your 20s and having gotten those first 10, and then family, raising a family, being married, and all that adjustment, that trip of change for that whole period, because the boys now are one's in college and the other one is getting close.
Junior, yeah. So he'll be had 1 more year with us, and then Sammy will be a freshman. So we'll have high school with him, but still I can sneak away and get in my park. And
Yes, yes,
exactly.
yes. And so I didn't get a stamp, y'all, but I did go to Death Valley. I didn't have a little book, so I think what I might do is just go and get me a book.
Yeah.
And get me a book so that I can start collecting stamps myself. Oh, collectors passport to your national parks.
Yes. So I am in Florida now, so that's the purple section. And so today we went to Key Biscayne National Park, which I've been to before. But I got the stamp, and we're going to take a boat ride on Saturday to Boca Chica Key. So I will do that. Let me just show you where's my Carolinas. There we go. So this is for my parks for today. So I got my stamps. This is at the top. That is Big Cypress right there. And here's Everglades right there. And then here's Biscayne over here. So you get these stamps, and they're all color coordinated by the color of the section of the book.
Okay.
So big thing that we're called park chasers. The people
like storm chasers.
like storm chasers and park chasers.
Park chasers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then every park I go to, I kind of see the national park groups. You kind of can seek them out, and often they'll be like, "Are you chasing parks?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a park chaser."
Yeah, a park chaser. You got me chasing parks too.
Exactly. And another thing that you and I've talked about often is that this is the national park service, but also during COVID, I was like, what can I do to accomplish as well? So there's 368 state parks in the state of Oregon. I know you have so many amazing parks in Georgia also. So I just started going to visit those just to get out. So to your point, it doesn't have to be at a grand scale, and doesn't have to be. They can be like, okay, how many wildlife refugees are in your state, and just go visit those, and they're just beautiful, full of birds, and I think we might become bird watchers today.
Because I've seen a lot of them in my backyard. Cardinals, blue jays, uh, black ones with little white things on their tails. It's just totally amazing
Yes.
how that we are right now in a trip of change with nature,
Yes.
going from winter to spring.
Yes.
And
Great.
there's a lot of change going on. And you know what, Dana? About 2 weeks ago, things were sprouting. It was green, and they were coming up from the ground. But my lawn man said, Miss Lawson, don't plant anything right now. Wait till the middle of March. And sure enough, Dana, last week, the temperature dropped below 30.
The
And
frost.
all those little newlings coming up, they froze. My bushes, they froze. Okay? That was last week. And it's been raining. And so even the ones that froze and died, the new life is pushing up from the ground, from out of the trees. It's just, it's an amazing feeling, especially when you may not be feeling so well.
It's powerful. Nature's very powerful.
Very powerful. So much so, Dana, that in my backyard there were these vines, okay, that were low on the ground or they were up in the trees, and they wrapped themselves around the limbs and around the trees. And I thought, you killing the trees. So one weekend I got out there and I pulled them up, right? I didn't realize that somehow those vines had something to do with one of those trees in the backyard, and I noticed that it's dying.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll get the lawn man to fix it, but what I'm saying is that it's all interconnected. It's all intertwined. And I saw something on Netflix or something the other day that talked about if you were to go below the ground where trees are, how trees communicate with electric nodes up under the ground. They talk through their roots. They communicate from one tree to a Dana. If one tree in the group gets sick,
Yes.
then the other trees send them nourishment to try to help them survive.
Yes. This is a big
I
thing.
was fascinated with that.
Yes. I'll just send you a book. It's called Lab Girl, which is fascinating. It studies plants and their growth patterns, and it's just a wonderful read. I'll send that out to you.
Yeah, and I even saw something somewhere, Dana, where it talks about mold and the breakdown of flesh or whatever, and how that mold becomes important for the ecosystem.
Yes.
Okay, so when something dies, it doesn't just die. What the mold or whatever comes in, it does what it does, and then it goes back down. It goes back to the ground.
It goes back into the ecosystem.
It goes back into the ecosystem. It's just, I think we get caught up in our jobs. We get caught up in our families. We get caught up in our personal situations to where we may forget that we're not alone on this planet.
No.
And so as you go out and start visiting these parks, what are some of the differences that you see in terms of from one park to another? Is it the trees, depending upon the area? Is it the formations? Because remember, when we were in Death Valley, there were all these formations. So what is it that's got you just really into it?
Well, one thing that I try to do is not do too much research, because I find that if you do too much, then you're just always like thinking for it and not in the moment of getting there. And as you know from our trip, there's a lot of journey that goes into getting there. And we're still looking at these rock formations, and we're like, oh my gosh, this ombre, gorgeous, tan to black. And then our guide tells us, this is where you two shot their album cover for the Joshua Tree. We're like, oh, we see it now. But and we were just like, and just like, so to be in that moment, not to be like, okay, I know, I'm going to tell you 10 things about this that I know. is to me not as wonderful as just being in the moment and taking it all in. So I try to approach every park by knowing where it's located, and if it's open, and where the visitor center is, like get my stamp, and then I just really like get there and say, oh, what can we do? Try not to limit it myself. But one thing when I was with a writer in Arizona, we did Walnut Canyon. And
Walnut Canyon?
Walnut Canyon. And it was just so, all these pueblos built into the side of the rock walls and this big canyon. And then the water would come down and they'd go down and bring the water back up. Because it's so hot there, they could move up high in the rock houses. And it was mind blowing. And it was this amazing hike. So I tried to know just enough to go experience it. For me, that's the exciting thing, is the experience of being at the park. Like with Big Cypress National Park, I didn't know what to expect from National Preserve because it's massive and what to expect. But we got there and I asked the ranger if you recommend, and she recommended 4 things, and we did them all. And they were all amazing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do this. Okay, hold on, girl.
Yay! That's us.
That was us.
Yeah.
That was us. Yep.
That was an amazing. Yep. And another thing I do is I take, like Jackie knows, I do take a ton of pictures, every angle, lots of like, because we're down in the second level. That was called Devil's Golf Course. And
oh yeah, the Devil's Golf Course.
Those are salt formations. I mean, it's amazing. And he had to scratch him, and so like really and taste him. It's very minerally tasting salt, but it's just like it's amazing that exists. It's acres and acres of
acres and acres and acres, and you could be at a high level. Mm-hmm. And then travel down to a lower level and look up and see the distance.
Yes.
And we were how many feet below sea level? 289.
Something like that. Yeah, we were in the basin, well below, hundreds of feet below sea level, and that was a trip. It's like, okay, we're well below sea level by hundreds of feet. You're like up there,
and I'm trying to gauge it. Okay, the sea is right here, and we below the sea level.
Yeah, and then you would
be drowning.
The big sign, like that's the sun. That's the sea level sign right up there.
Yes, yes.
Right. So it's it is fun. So I have assistant producers and my children that have helped us with the show. And so Sam found a video for us on TikTok that I've shared with Jackie. That I think it's interesting because the discussion is about nature, but also like how we need to be better partners to our planet. And so these guys on TikTok have a unique perspective that Sammy's like,
let me see if I can pull it up, Dana.
Okay. If not, we'll put it in our show notes. But
I gotta spell it right. How you spell it? TikTok.
TikTok.
That ain't it. Oh, TikTok.
Yes.
TikTok. Okay.
If you just go in and grab just the link.
Oh, not it. I had the link. TikTok copy. Oh, copy. And
got that the first part of this TikTok video. Just copy the HTTPS.
I'm missing something, Dana. It's a long stream.
Yeah, here, let me spend days. Try it now.
What'd you do?
I took out the TikTok video header. Can you copy that now?
Oh, redirecting. There we go. Is this it?
It's Jumpers Jump.
Here's Jumper's Jump right here.
Yeah, play it and turn on the volume.
I have a question for you first. All right, so would you consider the Earth an organ?
Okay, hold on just a minute. I'm coming back.
From Sam
All
Johnson.
right, so now I have to go get it.
Yep.
TikTok. Oh, wait a minute. I need to share the screen and go to TikTok. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm supposed to play it, right?
Right, and pop that volume up.
Wait a minute.
Organism.
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Now, in a sense, the world is living.
Yeah.
Right? In a sense, the world kind of has veins. It has almost even like
Like a heartbeat too, if you think about it.
yeah, like a heartbeat. Even has like a nervous system.
Yeah.
If you think about the roots and the plants and all of the things it's attached to in the earth, it's all connected, right? It's all connected. Now, there's this theory saying the earth is a being. It's an organism. And the humans are kind of the virus. So the earth, so when we get sick, when a human gets sick, right?
Yeah.
We create antibodies to
get rid of the virus.
to get rid of the virus, right?
Yeah.
So in the same sense, the earth will create natural disasters, famine, drought, wildfire, to kill off the virus.
No, that's crazy.
Yo,
That's crazy to think about.
Because think about it, bro. We hurt the earth, right?
Yeah.
We're doing worse for the earth than the better. And look at all the
Okay.
Yeah. Just an interesting perspective. And my 14-year-old son.
I like that analogy of when we get sick,
Yes.
our body has mechanisms in it to dispel whatever is attacking it.
Yes.
Same thing with the earth. If the earth is a living mechanism, then it has protection.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying. That's when I saw that about the trees communicating with the roots underneath. I mean, those roots expand out far. And so Dana, I kind of feel bad after I cut those roots up.
Right.
But they were taking over the yard and choking out a lot of the flowering plants.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know it was going to have that effect, but when we talk about nature, see, because you talked about how you used to go to the YMCA. When I was a kid, I went to summer camp. I went to Camp Sidney Cohen with Sam Cohen. Okay, Camp Sidney Cohen. And we did the canoe trips.
Mm-hmm.
We did the nature hikes. Mm-hmm. We did all of that. And so I'm fortunate to have been able to commune with nature at an early age.
Yes.
And like you, it's something that in your spirit you connect to it, and you want to do it more.
Yes.
But also, and we're going to talk about this, there are benefits of nature. It's just like when you were growing up, because kids don't do this nowadays. When you were growing up, your mama used to say, go outside.
Oh, yes.
Go outside. Go play outside. And like you said, but you got to be back in the house when the street light comes on.
Yes.
Okay, so you're out there and your creative mind is just coming up with all kind of adventurous scenarios, if it's cowboys and Indians or whatever the case may be.
I made perfume. I made mud pies. We played capture the flag. We had camps up at our local park that we go to all day long. And there you go. And so it just was, it's just changed a lot. So many camps are so entertainment based now. It's just a little different, but it's still all my kids are going to YMCA camp and learning how to love nature. So that's been the wonderful thing about summer.
Yeah, and you know what? I know that there are a lot of people like us who are into nature. We just, that's why we're doing this Triple Change podcast, to reach those people.
Yes.
Because we are inundated with all kinds of negativity, just bombarded with it left and right. So, but nature is there, and it's free.
It's free.
It's free. So, what are some of the benefits, Dana, of being out in nature?
Being present, uh, feeling the elements on your wind, rain, snow, heat today for us. But also the appreciation of it, and just being able to almost be in a meditative state with yourself, to kind of just be in the present.
Some of the things that I found that are benefits, because I've enjoyed those benefits that you just described, but some of the other things that I didn't really think about while I was, planning to go somewhere or being out there in nature is that it says that it can make you smarter, Dana. 20 minutes outside can improve your concentration and reduce the need for ADHD and ADD. So when they took playground out of the schools for the kids, the kids are inside in those rooms all day long.
They need the release.
You got to give them a release. So I don't know whose bright idea it was to do away with physical education and playground. That was the whole just going to school so we get out on the playground. Okay. Right. So walking through nature, it improves your cognitive function, Dana, and your memory. And for older people such as myself, they say the eyes is the first to go, and I don't remember the second. Oh no, it's the mind. No, the mind is the first to go, and I don't remember the second. Mind first, don't remember the rest.
Yeah.
Okay, but the children need to get out because it improves their performance in school. It allows them to run off some of that energy and frustration if they have it. Okay.
We talked about there was the oxygenation that you get from being outside. And there are many studies on of, like, if you ran on the treadmill versus you ran outside, how much more oxygen you actually can take in, and just how that helps your cells be active and move through your body and blood flow and all of that. So just getting pure, really good oxygen in your lungs is an additive benefit to health all around.
So as a cancer survivor, then knowing these benefits, making you stronger, healthier, happier, it became critical for you to pick up where you left off when you were 20 and get back out there in nature.
Yes. And part of my big healing when I was coming out of surgery, then coming out of radiation, and coming out of chemo, and was they wanted me to walk as much as I could. Sometimes I was going twice around my house. That was exhausting first. And then I would get up there 4 times, and then I'd get to go down the street, then back. And so by the end, I was hiking up to a landmark area, and I did that almost every day. That was their whole thing: get out and walk as much as you can. That was their prescription for me to be healthy.
Because it does make you stronger. Because exercise in nature leads to greater health benefits than performing the same activities inside. Now, how do I know that's true? Because I have a smart TV, I have a yoga mat, I have weights, I got everything I need to turn on the TV. YouTube University, I can go to YouTube University and watch a yoga class. But that's not the same as getting up, putting on some clothes, being excited about going somewhere, getting there, seeing other people that are excited to see you.
Yeah. And I think that fresh air is good for the skin, and just being out in the elements and whatever they are. The skin's your biggest organ in your whole entire body, so we need to think about that too and how we treat it.
Do you drink more water now than before?
Oh, yes. Yes. Gotta flush it out.
Gotta flush it out.
Flush it out.
Gotta stay regular. Gotta stay regular.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it talks about how, and I said this, I lived in a community where there was a nature preserve right down the street from me, and I never would have known it if I hadn't got lost one day. But for those people who live in communities where they are close to nature, they have a stronger tie with people in their community, especially if those other members in the community like to do the same things that you like to do.
Yes.
Now, at my age, one of the things, Dana, that I have to be aware of is high cholesterol, high blood pressure, sugar, which is diabetes for those who don't know, but sugar diabetes, the old people call it sugar. You got sugar? You got the sugar? I ain't get the sugar. Okay. But I know when I've gone to the doctor and they've looked at my cholesterol numbers, it's like you can either take this medicine or you can exercise. Now, for a lot of people, it's easier, Dana, to just take that pill.
No, thank you.
But for some people, it's harder to actually get up enough energy to get dressed and go out. But it's important that you do.
Yes.
Especially with cholesterol, which could cause a stroke or a heart attack. And it boosts your immune system. With this COVID stuff, I know one of the first things I did, Dana, was I bought a whole box full of immune vitamins. I also bought vitamin D for depression, because you've been in the house, can't go nowhere, you can't see your friend. Ashwagandha, elderberry, turmeric, vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C.
Yes.
See, so when you want to leave a legacy within your family, it's important that you take care of your health.
It is.
Now, I'm going to play this because one of the other things it talks about taking just a 30-minute walk in the park can improve your health. But it also says listening to birds and observing animals in nature have shown to promote well-being,
Yes.
reduce stress,
Yes.
improve your mood,
Yes.
and reduce attention fatigue. So, listen to this.
That's nice.
See, because what I do, Dana, is in the mornings, I go out on the back porch and I listen to the birds. I know what time they get up. I know who's up early and should still be asleep. Okay, because they start chirping. I know who's had babies on this tree over here, this tree, because it is a method of communicating for them first thing in the morning.
Yes.
But what we hear is the musicals, the sound, the sound of it, right? And so tell me about the birds. We talking about bird watching.
Yeah, I just laughed that it will one day become something that I'm passionate about. We have blue jays in Oregon.
Blue jays.
Blue jays. And so when a blue jay comes up, you're like, oh my goodness. My favorite bird is the hummingbird. And I always feel so lucky when I am in the presence of one, that I feel so special. I've been out in it was in Tennessee, and I saw a red cardinal, and I had never seen one before, and that was really amazing. So I'm excited about starting to see different birds here and there. Might have to get a bird book, to be able to.
Yeah, because we got all kind of red cardinals here in Atlanta, blue jays and red cardinals, and just all kinds of stuff. And it's funny, sometimes I sit here and I watch the birds chase the squirrels.
Right? Yes.
The birds be chasing the squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny. We went today to a place in Islamorada called Lobbies, and we fed the tarpon. And there are these amazing pelicans there, massive pelicans. And some have like white hair, and some have blonde hair, and some have bright blue eyes, some have like red eyes, and they're all different colors. They're trying to get the fish that we're feeding the tarpon. Smart, smart birds. And so it was fun to see them today, because we don't have pelicans really on the, well,
On the West Coast.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So it's really fun to see. So
Oh, wonderful. I've got some pelicans out there on my sun porch. Just a little, piece of artwork of pelicans. My friend Lois, she loved pelicans. But one of the other things it talks about, we talked about it being making you stronger, making you healthier, Dana, but it also makes you happier,
yes,
because a 5-minute walk, all right, in nature, just a 5-minute walk, will improve your mood, your self-esteem, and give you relaxation.
yes,
So it says how future frequent exposure to nature reduces anxiety and depression while promoting a sense of well-being and fulfillment. And that's what you said. When I ask you, how does it make you feel to be out there? What type of trip of change takes place when you're out there in nature? And you talked about sense of well-being and fulfillment.
and also when you experience such unique, beautiful trees and nature, and see these animals, you realize you're just a small little bit on this planet, and that you need to be, I feel, better to the planet, because you want to protect it for all species. And so it kind of helps you find your sit bones, where
Yes.
you need to be and how you need to set yourself.
It also has a humbling effect.
Yes. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and I felt that, because, like you said, when we was in Death Valley, we said it. You could look up at the sky. You could look at the Death Valley. You could look at the Devil's Golf Course,
Yes.
and realize that nature has created this scenery for us to enjoy. But we are just a tiny, tiny speck.
Yes.
Just a tiny speck on this earth plane. So you're right. We need to be more kind, not only to each other, but to the planet.
Yes.
So, what else you want to talk about in terms of how visiting these parks? Because if there's 400 and some of them, you got a little ways to go, don't you?
I do. I'm at 76 right now, so I worked my way through it.
76?
76. Yes. And then next up, I'm going to be going to the Great Smoky Mountains early April. So I'll do that with Sifu. Then we're going to New York City, and there are 11 units. We're going to be able to go to about 10 of them in New York. So that's going to be a big bump. And then we'll see where we go from there. So it's been a gift to be able to pursue this passion, especially after everything I went through. So I just feel fortunate every day that I'm here, and then I get to be here and experience it.
Well, I got to tell you, you have a secret admirer.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
I did not know this.
I can't tell you because it's a secret.
Okay.
It's a secret admirer.
Well, there we go. So that's what we talked about, is that more people will start to get outside. It was REI years ago, did that hashtag for Black Friday, get outside. And so we've been doing that almost every year. And that was an aha moment. Like, course we should be outside rather than chase them down. I mean, I never did walk away anyway, but it wasn't a big thing, and people were, getting in fights over Xbox, and it's like, well, we should just all be out walking around.
Yeah, I'm so glad that the virus seems to be winding down. I noticed that there are less people who are wearing a mask. I still wear mine, especially if it's required. But I know that I've gotten to the point, Dana, where I might pull up somewhere and now it becomes a second thought. And I get out the car and say, oh, I forgot my mask. Or I've even gone in and had to do this. You see, so it's winding down. And whatever time that you had in this past year to get yourself together, now is the time to execute whatever plan you worked on when the virus hit.
Or add something into it. Say, hey, I'm gonna
add something new.
Yeah.
Add something new. So listen, my girlfriend, my dear girlfriend. I know we talked about transparency, and I'm still I'm not as transparent as maybe others, but I really appreciate you talking about your cancer survivor journey and how that you did not give up, you did not give in. You got a great support system, but you also found two things. One, a mechanism to do internal healing that does not require pharmaceuticals. Nature. The second thing is, I don't know, because I had a moment. That was one of the things to go. I should have said it when I thought about it.
I always tell my boys the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. And I started thinking I need to start practicing that myself. And because I'm so busy, I like to give back to others, and I'm so busy doing that I was like, I'm going to take this time and really make this my priority. And I started with COVID limited me, cancer limited me, and I can do it. But I'm like, I can go to a state park. And so I just got outside, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the elixir for me. This is what
the elixir. That's the word I was looking for. The elixir.
This is it. And I just came back, and I was like, I felt like I had accomplished something for the day. I felt exercise. I was feeling my body. I had fresh air in my lungs. I was like drinking water. Just being good to myself after a long journey.
Well, there's always somebody who listens to these survivors' triumph stories. And so we're hoping that someone will be able to take something away from this particular podcast. Like I said, I appreciate you, Dana Bach Jackson.
Thank you, Jackie. You too.
You're a survivor, and I love you for that.
Love you so much.
Okay, now, before I get all emotional, let's drink to that. Let's drink to that. I got orange juice today.
Hey, that works.
Orange juice. So, we're about an hour into this podcast, but we did want to mention, because it is National Women's History Month.
Yes.
And I'm celebrating Dana Bach during National Women's History Month because of her accomplishments. She just told y'all a little bit about her story. I know a little bit more, and so I can say that she is a woman of power. She speaks power, and she will be more powerful in the days to come.
Thank you, Jackie.
Absolutely. So what we wanted to do on that note about the National Women's History Month. Let's just touch on this for a second. I don't think I'm gonna pull up any videos or anything, but in celebration of National Women's History Month, I want to give a shout out to Judge. Say her name. Ketanji. There's a middle name. Brown.
Jackson.
Yes. Judge Jackson. Miss Jackson. Oh, I better not say that.
But what we were talking about is the other episode, we had such a wonderful time talking about firsts and what a first this nomination is, and what an accomplished and powerhouse she is, and what a wonderful addition to the big bench she would be.
Well, they just announced today that Albright had died, and she was a first.
Yes. She was a first.
She was a first.
Yes, she died of cancer too. Yes.
So now you got Miss Jackson, Judge Jackson, and Dana, the things that these politicians are asking her, the level of the questioning, the average person would not be able to sit there and take it, because of what Judge Jackson is practicing is intelligence over emotion. That's I over E. A lot of people practice emotion over intelligence.
Yes.
This is an intelligent, bright woman who is fielding these questions, but she's thinking about it first, Dana, before she answers, because the answers are extremely important.
Yes.
Now, how do you feel about the level of questioning from some of these politicians? Do you think that it's appropriate? What does it have to do with the Constitution? If I ask you, Dana, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you practice your religion? How do you feel about your religion on a scale of 1 to 10? That is such an inappropriate question.
Yeah, we've been driving for the past couple days, so I haven't been glued to the nomination, the hearings as I usually am. I would prefer to have watched this one over the last two that I did watch. So I'm missing out on all those. I do read the headlines, and I'm a little surprised that they would, but it's unfortunate. Politics sometimes are taken center stage more so than common sense these days. So I think that's the case. What you're seeing, what you said, emotion is leading over intelligence.
But the thing of it is, Dana, is that a lot of these politicians are repeat politicians. The people in their communities vote them into office time after time after time after time after time after time again. Mm-hmm. And so, that says a lot about us as citizens of the United States when we go to the voting polls and we don't know who the candidates are.
Right.
Now, I still am a member of Big Bethel AME Church here in Atlanta, Dana, which is over 60, might be 70 years old by now. 170 years old. What am I thinking? It's an old church. And I was talking to a church member earlier today, and he said Stacey Abrams was at church this past Sunday.
Really?
Yes. And she will probably be back. He said that Kemp sent somebody. Okay. But what they're doing is there's some kind of rule that they're trying to say that Miss Abrams cannot raise money for her campaign. Whereas, as of January of this year, Kemp has raised $2 million. But she can't raise money. So that was just a little something that, I'm sure there's a lot of other things that are going on, but the obstruction is just totally amazing.
Stacey's been fighting for. I mean, I look at her just passion for making voting rights available in all places and all the work she's done, and then the suppression that's being done on the other side. I mean, I think it's borderline criminal, but I applaud her for her passion and for her dedication to her service and her desire to continue on. She is going to make a change.
Well, we'll be watching that, and as we create more podcasts, we'll be reporting on that, just adding to it. And so, Dana, you want to talk about anything else before we wrap up this podcast for this week?
I think I'm good. I'm going to get some more stamps this week, so I'm very excited about that. And just thank you for letting me tell my story.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I appreciate you as a survivor, as a woman, and as my friend. I really, really do.
I love you.
I love you too, girl. And all right. So you can find us at tripofchange.com. You can follow us on YouTube, and you can sign up on the website at tripofchange.com for our newsletter. I'm going to be introducing something new, Dana. I may not have mentioned it to you, but I want to do something called Boomer Life.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Boomer Life. And Boomer Life will be featuring that in upcoming episode. Has more to do with some things that happen to us as boomer. And I kind of alluded to one of them when I said the first thing to go is your mind, and I forgot the second thing. Okay. So we will add that to our show. It's like, where are my glasses? Where the hell are my glasses? Oh, they're on your face. Or how about this one? Where's my phone? Where is my phone? Granny. Oh, there it is. Okay. And so we'll be doing that. If you want to get in touch with us, we would love for you to get in touch with us. We enjoy having guests on the show. And so to be a guest on the show, contact Dana at Triple Change. She's the show producer. And also to get more information about this amazing woman and her goal to visit how many national parks? I think it was 400 and something, or 400 parks.
There's 423 units right now, and they just added a new one the other day. I learned yesterday. So there's 424. Some of them aren't open, and some of them are closed. So it's going to take a while, but there are 424 as of yesterday.
Okay. So now, if you've got a story that's as amazing as Miss Bach, get in touch with us and get you on the show. Sign up for the newsletter. Okay. And again, thank you to our sponsor, Healthful Essence. Healthful Essence at healthfulessence.com. Be sure to order through their Clover app to get a discount. Yes. Oh, no, I don't need that. Okay, and hide that. All right, Miss Bach.
Okay, we did it.
Another one under the belt.
Another one in the book.
Another one under the belt. And I appreciate you. Oh, March the 30th, which is next week. Next week, Wednesday. We will be talking about women in business, okay? Young entrepreneurs, okay? Young entrepreneurs in business, where we will feature a couple of young women who own businesses. And we will talk about that. And one young lady took a trip to Africa. I'm very interested in finding out what she was able to accomplish, what she brought back with her. And so join us next week, Wednesday, the same time, 7:30, here on StreamYard. We're doing StreamYard, but it's being broadcast live on Facebook at Triple Change and YouTube at Trip of Change. And that's it for tonight.
Yay, we did it.
Yay, we did it. We did another episode. Hold on, Dana.
Cheers. Great. Music to our ear. That's good. Pretty nice.
Take a trip of change. All right, Miss Dana.
Yes.
Peace out, girl.
Yep.
All right, love you.
Mwah, love you. Bye.